So, welcome everyone. My name is Francesca Fuser. I'm Business Development Manager for Pilosio, Italy. Let me introduce you Mr. Andy Graham, Managing Director for Pilosio UK. Hi, Andy.
Hi, good morning, Francesca, and thank you very much to everybody who's joined us.
Thank you to you, Andy. So this webinar is dedicated to Flydeck, the Pilosio Suspended Access System. The webinar will start with a presentation of the components of the system. Then we will see a live demonstration of the Flydeck, and the webinar will finish with a 3D animation video that will show the installation steps from different starting points. Feel free to write your questions in the chat box. Andy will reply to all of you during the Q&A section. So let's start the webinar.
I'm the Managing Director of Pilosio UK, and I'm here in Italy at the Pilosio showroom, where it will be my pleasure to introduce you to our fantastic range of products. Flydeck is a suspended access solution comprising of adjustable chains, beams, connection clamps, and decks. It has the ability to accommodate a range of handrails using our Pilosio manufactured handrail clamps. The system is installed using the Flyrail that helps improve safety. Safety is improved by the minimization of manual handling and by ensuring that installers are permanently supported on a new decking section in the vertical plane. The Flyrail ensures that there's never any requirement for cantilevered rigging during the installation. Productivity rates can be exceptional. Dependent on site, it is possible for a three-party installation team properly supported by labour supply to install upwards of 150 to 200 square metres a day. As a client, we believe that our pricing is very good, and combinations of productivity, pricing, and safe installation mean that we're confident that we can offer you a best value suspended access solution. Our grade 88 chains are all CE marked, with each individual section coming with a tag that contains both the working load limit of 2,000 kilograms, a unique serial number, and a date of manufacture. Once connected to the structure, or in this instance to the underside of the clamp, as for making multi-level systems, the chain can be extended by connecting the next section into the clutch, ensuring that the chain is positioned or the clutch is installed to the link, giving you the correct height. For final adjustment into the next beam clamp, the turnbuckle is set to the required height. This is particularly important. Our use of beams enables us, by using this final turnbuckle or by using the adjustment on the turnbuckle, to get a precisely coplanar deck. In other words, we can get it completely level with relative ease. On occasions where the height of lift between the two different deck sections or from below the soffit exceeds 2 meters, the chain can be lengthened by the introduction of an intermediate section. The Pilosio Flydeck system can be attached to the structure via a variety of techniques. We can attach using expanding anchor bolts, resin bolts, wire rope slings, fiber slings, or the Pilosio manufactured beam clamps. These are designed and manufactured to precise requirements with some flexibility included. The clamps are adjustable, positioned to fit the required beam flange size, and secured into place using our harmonic safety pins. With a factor of safety of 4 to 1, these beam clamps will come certified with a working load limit of 2,000 kilograms. I'm particularly excited by the benefits brought to the installation of the Flydeck by the Flyrail system, a system that helps minimize manual handling, makes much easier the installation of beams, be it in the lateral or the longitudinal plane, and especially the fact that our installers are permanently supported by a solid deck that is held in the vertical plane by the Flyrail. There is no need for the use of any cantilevered rigging whatsoever during the installation of a Flydeck. Pilosio offers a range of different beam types for use on our products. We supply the tube and tube beam. We also manufacture in-house our tube and U-beam. The tube and U-beam is fantastic as it offers compatibility to a range of different board types. Connection of the beams is very simple. We utilize spigots and harmonic elastic pins. The harmonic pins are good for a minimum of 200 uses that on a work site could conceivably as much as 10 years in use. The harmonic pin is fitted into the pinhole and that is your beam connection complete. Removal of the beam, dismantle of the beam is equally simple. If you can imagine that this is now supported by a Flyrail system, we take hold of the beam at the end, we remove the pins, slide the beam off, and we recover it in board. Worth mentioning is that this beam can be rotated to put the tubular section to the top of the beam. This will allow you to use different types of boards depending on their end fittings and how they connect onto the beam. At Pilosio, we manufacture a range of decks. Our standard deck comes in 500 millimeters wide or 330 millimeters wide. The load capacity of the 500 millimeter wide deck is 300 kilograms a square meter. For the 330 millimeter wide deck, the load capacity is 500 kilograms per square meter. We also have a non-slip deck, commonly known as the cheese grater. That comes in widths of 330 millimeters with a load capacity of 600 kilograms per square meter. The decks are manufactured in various lengths. We can manufacture 1 meter, 1.5, 1.8 meter, 2 meter and 2.5 meter decks, with 3 meter decks manufactured to order. Pilosio has designed and manufactured a range of handrail clamps suitable for connection to any type of our beams. We're now demonstrating the connection of a handrail clamp to the end of one of our beams. It's important to note that this clamp is suitable for use with either our MP system or for use with standard tube and fittings. We also have a range of beam clamps that can connect along the length of a beam. Again, these beam clamps are suitable for use with our MP system or with any tube and fitting system. Our safety netting systems are simple to install during the erection of a Flydeck structure. The benefits of using the net include protection against potential dropped objects. The net also adds a further level of protection for installers during work at height activities, both during the installation of the decking system and during the dismantling process. Bluesky is the Pilosio water containment system. It offers 100% protection during a range of maintenance operations, including hydroblasting, high pressure water jetting, and other surface preparations. Waste fluids are collected within these water traps or sumps. These sumps enable the extraction of the residual fluid or the waste fluid by using vacuum pumps from above, or indeed by connecting runoff hoses to the valve section below. Our sumps are installed every 12 square meters, effectively meaning that on each section or beam of Flydeck, you will have the ability to extract your waste materials. The Bluesky system has been developed to enable fast and efficient connection to our Flydeck structures. All that is required is an aluminium rail and the quick pincer connection. The quick pincer connects the aluminium rail to our Flydeck beam, with the Bluesky sheeting being slid inside the aluminium rail. Installation is very simple, concurrent with the erection and installation of the Flydeck structure, and it is also very simple to retrofit. Worth mentioning at this point as well is the Bluesky system is not only for use with the Pilosio Flydeck system, it's compatible with all other forms of scaffolding out there. So irrespective of the system that you're using, Bluesky can be designed to meet your requirements. The waste fluids are collected below the working surface on top of the Bluesky itself. This minimizes the risk of slipping or wet surfaces, because your waste product goes through the deck and collects on the Bluesky below. Wastewater removal points through the sumps that are positioned every 12 square meters are easily achievable either by vacuum pump or by pumping the fluid out of the sump reservoir, or by draining from below. If we focus on our MP system handrail as well, very easy to see the connection of the Bluesky around the perimeter of the system. We'd now like to demonstrate the dismantling of a lateral section of the Flydeck. All right, Eric. The first step is to move forward and to connect the Flyrail onto the external beam. At this point, the section of Flydeck is now completely supported by the Flyrail, and it's safe to commence the dismantling process. The next phase is now the removal of the suspension chains from the beam. It's important to note at this point that the beam clamps have a safety latch on them that prevents accidental release from the beam. With the anchor chains now removed from the beams, we can commence the dismantling of the boards. During the removal of the boards, the safety mechanisms at either end of the boards are removed. With the boards now removed, the beam can be recovered inboard. The first step on that is the removal of the transoms, or the removal of the inboard side of the transoms. Once the half couplers are released, the beam can then be recovered inboard. By lifting on the fly rail, you levelize the beam and pull it back inwards. Transoms are now released from the beam, and the beam can be recovered fully inboard. To install a new lateral section of the fly deck, you reverse the process. The transoms are connected to the beam. Once fastened into position, the beam can be moved out into location. This is achieved by pushing the beam out, using the transoms, and coming down on the fly rail to level the beam. At this point, the transoms are connected to the inner beam. Once the beam has been positioned, we can start to install the boards. The chains and the clamps can be positioned. At this point, the installer will commence the level checks and make fine adjustments using the turnbuckle. With the chains now connected, the lateral section of the fly deck will be leveled. Okay, go out, get your level. The lateral section of Flydeck has now been installed and has been levelled into position. The next step is the removal of the fly rails. To reorientate the fly rail into the longitudinal plane, it's a relatively simple process. We lower the fly rail onto the deck, we disconnect at the hoist and at the tail anchor, and we move it back onto the working deck area for repositioning. With the fly rail now repositioned, we are going to demonstrate the installation of a longitudinal section of Flydeck using a 6-metre beam. The first step is the connection of the fly rail to the beam. The beam is then moved into position and connected using spigots to the previous beam. Eric. With the beam securely mounted onto the spigots, the harmonic quick pins are installed. With the harmonic safety pins installed, we can now start the installation of the boards. With the first section of boards installed, we now install the transom. With the transom installed, we'll now connect the next chain. Final adjustments to the level are completed by using the turnbuckle. With the weight now fully transferred onto the chains, we can come down on the fly rail and disconnect from the beam. At this point, we have now completed the first 3 meters of deck onto the 6-meter beam section. The fly rail can now be lowered to the deck and move forward into its next position. So thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a real pleasure introducing you to the Flydeck system, a system that we truly believe brings big benefits and improvements to safety, productivity, and end value. The use of the fly rail to ensure that all operatives are permanently on a solid deck that is supported in the vertical plane, and the minimizing of the requirement to use cantilevered rigging. Our lightweight materials help minimize the burdens of manual handling. In particular, our 250mm aluminium trusses and the various lengths in which these are supplied, ranging from 1 meter to 6 meter, allow us to approach obstructions, for example, an abutment, a pier, and to build up to the abutment or the pier very easily by changing the length of the beams. Utilizing the fly rail also helps us bypass these obstructions with relative ease. The use of our harmonic safety pin allows for exceptionally fast connection of truss to truss. The ability and the flexibility and compatibility with handrail systems, the in-house manufacture of Pilosio handrail clamps that can be used with our own MP product, or indeed with your own tubular fittings or your own tubular fixings. The compatibility with our Bluesky PVC 100% water containment system, and indeed the fact that that is not only for use with Flydeck, the aluminium rails and the quick pincer connections will allow you to use that with your existing systems. The ability to manipulate the distance between our anchor points, our pickup points and our chains by connecting 2 of our beams together, or indeed connecting 4 of them together to achieve distances between pickups of up to 12 meters. Especially important if you're trying to minimize the anchor points into concrete soffits, or indeed if you're bypassing a box girder where you have no ability to install any anchor points at all. The productivity of the system, the lightweight materials, the use of the Flyrail, enabling very, very effective productivity rates. Dependent on the site, it's not unusual for a labouring team to supply 3 working installers at the front and to include rates of up to 150 and 200 square meters a day. This will vary from site to site, of course. Flydeck is a revolutionary suspended access system with safety, productivity, and end value benefits. Thank you very much for your time.
Hello and good morning, everybody. I'm Andy Graham, the Managing Director of Pilosio UK. Thank you very much for joining us today. We've got a 5 to 10 minute question and answer session coming up, whereafter we'll take a look at some 3D videos showing build up from the ground using our MP systems, and then heading into the Flydeck system itself, dropping down from above with some cantilever access stairwells, and then building out from the abutment. Before we get into that, I'd just like to summarize and touch on the key benefits of the Flydeck system. For installers, you're using lightweight materials, so your manual handling efforts are being reduced, and the use of the Flyrail ensures that you're permanently stood on a firm deck. There's never any requirement for cantilever rigging or the ability for anything to come back come back at you as you're pushing it out. From a business perspective, the high productivity rates will bring significant commercial benefits. With regards to some of the questions that we've got coming in, I'm seeing one in from Sartoreto regarding price and terms. The way that we deal with that at the moment is, if you have a potential project coming in, we ask that you send us as much information and detail on that as possible. We'll provide free of charge a concept design proposal and a cost estimate. What we need from you is preferably CAD drawings. In the absence of CAD drawings, if we can get the best quality structural drawings that you've got with nice clear dimensions, giving us the height of lift requirements, your uniform distributed load requirements or the load capacity that you want from the deck, a markup of the structural drawings showing the footprint or the area that the Flydeck is to go into, and also let us know what your scope of work is. We'll then get you the detail that you need, and you'll get the terms and conditions through with that as well. I think for the next phase, we can head into the 3D videos as we await a few more questions coming in, and we'll tackle those as we progress through the 3D. Sorry guys, I've accidentally hit mute there. So what you've been seeing here is the installation of a drop-down cantilevered stairway of our MP scaffolding system, and the installation of the first beam sections of the Flyrail using of the Flydeck, using our Flyrails to install the initial lateral section of the Flydeck. Using our MP scaffold system, we build the initial base section as we build up from the abutment. We install the first beams and the first sections of deck. The anchor points into your structure, again, guys, this can be a range of different techniques. It could well be slings, it could be beam clamps. On this occasion, we're drilling into the concrete and we're installing bolted anchors. The adjustable chains are then connected onto the clamps. We install the spigots. The fly rails go in and we start the installation of the beams. Additional adjustable chains and clamps are installed along with the progression of the installation of the decks. We've had a question about the load capacity and uniform distributed load capacity of the Flydeck systems. Guys, the UDL is flexible. We can give you a load capacity up to, and in some occasions, in excess of 5 kilonewtons a square meter. The way that you achieve this is by the introduction of additional chains and clamps onto the beams. One of the key benefits of the Flydeck system is the range of beam lengths that we've got and the ability to bypass abutments and piers, as we mentioned in the demonstration, and to then link that up and connect into either existing structures, as you can see in the video here, or to indeed just build around the actual obstruction or structural element itself. The flexibility of our board or deck sizes as well mean that we can always design to ensure a nice, easy connection and close fit as we're building up to and onto existing elements of the Flydeck. We're now showing the installation of the beams in the longitudinal direction using 2 fly rails at this point. important again to note here is the different sizes of the beams that we've got. They range from 1 meter to 6 meter with a 1.5 meter option as well. It means that we can very closely design and accurately design our ability to approach an obstruction or a structural element. Once you get your first bay in or your first section using your 2 fly rails, you can then separate your fly rails and move them further out into the outer bay sections as you see happening here. We're now demonstrating the installation of 2 lateral decking sections as we prepare to bypass a pier. I think a gentle reminder here as well about the productivity rates of installation. 3 installers working at the work front, with labour supplying them with the materials required to keep the build ongoing is extremely fast and efficient. It's not unusual to see 150 square meters to 200 square meters a day being installed. Again, obviously, issues like on-site permitry and other potential variations can affect that. Nice image of us bypassing a pier. With regards to the question on wind load and instability of the deck once installed, one of the things that we do obviously need to understand during the design is the location of the installation, but we can design the systems to withstand 160 kilometers an hour. We look at various forms of bracing to be installed with the system as well, and that can take a variety of forms, the actual bracing of the system. But the compatibility with our MP scaffolding system certainly enables us to include solid bracing within the design. One of the things that you will find during the installation of your Flydeck system is the productivity rates mean that probably the biggest issue that you're going to face is keeping the supply of materials up with the actual work face. So Pilosio can support with a range of supporting products. Again, we've just had a question on pricing. It's just to recap on that. If you have a potential project, get us through as much information on it as you can. CAD drawings, preferably structural drawings. In the absence of CAD, height of lift, your load capacity requirements. Let us know what the scope of work is as well. And we'll provide a free concept design proposal with a cost estimate. The closer to the, as much information as you give us, we'll get the concept design proposal and the cost estimate as close to the final executive drawings and final cost as we can.
So I think we have finished the time, Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, so thank you so much for your amazing support, really. And thank you to all of you for attending this webinar. We were really a lot. Hope you like it. Before finishing the webinar, I just want to provide you basic information about Pilosio. We have headquarters in Italy, office in Jeddah, Dubai, one in Aberdeen. Plus currently we are expanding new market for Flydeck from Australia to Canada, passing through South Africa. So we are ready to reach you and to serve you. So hope you get all the information. For sure we are here for anything you will need. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will upload the webinar in our YouTube channel probably tomorrow. So thank you. If you want to say something, otherwise I will close now the webinar.
No, I'd just like to thank everybody for tuning in. We're here to support you. Any opportunities at all, please give us a shout and we'll help you out with a free concept design and cost estimate.
Perfect. So I think we can close now. Thank you again. Grazie mille. Thank you.